What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
Mr. Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And Mr. Robert D. Toff.
Wow.
And tonight we are going to talk about the Transformer pieces that belong behind a piece of glass in a museum, the figures that made an impact where they should be remembered for their historical connotations, maybe even more so than whether or not they're actually high quality or not, especially by today's standards. If you like the uncut version of this conversation, feel free to subscribe to the Patreon. At $5 a month, we can get this and Sit Down Saturday and a ton of other things. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. This topic was brought to us by our own Robert D. And I think that we've had these conversations in private at least, but when it comes to Transformers, specifically third party and Masterpiece or whatever you want to call it at the time, the very first piece that jumps to my mind that should be stuck behind glass in a museum for people to take in and admire and understand the impact that it had is TFC's Hercules.
Well, that's interesting that you're saying that, because I would think, right, like you wouldn't put TFC Hercules behind glass in a museum, like in a bubble. It's not just, oh, look at this figure. It is beautiful art.
No.
You're putting it in there in context.
Correct.
Right? So,
Right, for the historical.
right. So you would have G1, then TFC, and then maybe Gravity Builder, and then Zeta.
No, honestly, I think I would just put G1, TFC, Toy World.
Toy World, that's it.
Yeah.
No Gravity Builder. He doesn't have a place?
So,
Not in a museum. I don't think it's a bad figure.
but are you which standpoint are you coming from? Are you coming from
Game
the
changing.
historical, like
Game
a history
changing.
museum?
Yeah. That's how
Okay,
I'm.
so not for like it's a piece of art and this thing's like a great.
So
unique
so
piece
I
and
so to me it's two things can be true. Like I think it is
Right.
impactful because it was a piece of art because of how much it changed the game.
because I understand Hercules. So it's before you even said that I wrote down as you were doing your intro like Gravity Builder and the Toy World Devi.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting. They do go in line with your Hercules, and I understand why you're putting them in there. But I think like those two, I don't know what it is too about Devastator that's like seems to be the launching point for every new iteration of whatever the design trend is.
That's not
Funny that you're saying
that's not
launching point.
MP10 would be in there.
100%.
Yeah.
Would you have G1 Prime?
I guess so. I guess
yeah.
so. Like the G1 stuff is tricky because what G1 stuff like wouldn't you include? You know,
Right.
it was
You
all
would have to just do their flagship stuff.
it was all the
like the
first of
main-
its time.
Right.
Would you have MPO1?
Yes. Yes. I would have MPO1, but I wouldn't have the Megatron, and I wouldn't have like any of that stuff, like even like the original Seekers and stuff. I wouldn't have any of that because that didn't have an impact. MPO1 was an impactful piece because all of a sudden it was like, whoa, this stuff can look however we want it to. Like we're at a point technologically and engineering wise where this stuff can look like the vehicle and look like the robot, and that was the first time we'd ever even considered that.
So would you have, you'd have MP10, but then you would not need like MPO8, MPO9,
Correct.
or MPO11.
Correct.
You wouldn't need any of those. Just
Correct.
MP10 represents that milestone.
Correct.
I
Is
think
there another milestone?
I think
Yeah,
you could
for-
put the MP Soundwave in there too. With that, I think that's equally for a different reason. Like you had I think it captured something. I think that MP10 also captured.
I'm more open to
That's why you want
Soundwave than I am to Sideswipe and Grimlock.
Oh yeah.
and
No,
Rodimus.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think you need all the other ones. Right. I just think there's like these pivotal pieces that like.
But to me, like City Commander from Fans Project, that belongs more so in the museum than Soundwave.
Was that their Ultra Magnus?
That was their Ultra Magnus. It was like an upgrade kit.
Yeah.
And it's because like once again it was a game changer. Like to me, like the museum quality pieces are about the historic impact where like this piece releases and nothing is the same afterwards. Like I would put probably in one case, if I had this ultimate Transformers museum, this fictional Transformers museum, I would put Takara Sunstreaker and Takara Inferno in the same case because those two pieces is what dictated third party's approach to Masterpiece still to this day.
True.
Like Fans Toys Quake Wave. Like that's one that's like third party existed one type of way before that figure released, and third party never existed the same way after that figure was released.
Unique Toys,
Right.
Farouk Hill.
Yeah. For just engineering feats.
And not to branch off, I know we're kind of straying off, but it just makes me think of the question: what's the most recent launching off point? Have we had one?
I think it's that Takara, Sunstreaker, and Inferno.
So yeah, but that was like
some time ago.
You know how many? Almost a decade ago, right? Was that 2018?
I can look it up. But like, I think that like everybody is still retracing those lines. Of
you have to put in whatever launched the Legends,
and people.
You know what I mean? I know we're talking about.
People are doing it differently. Oh yeah, for sure. Legends it was a 2-pack DX9 initially, wasn't it, Robert?
Iron Factory first. It was the Generations Metroplex. Iron Factory. I did an add-on kit to
That's
War
right.
for Cybertron Grimlock. And
That's
then
right.
But is that what made Legends a thing? Like that's what launched it off from there?
Yeah, it was Iron Factory.
No, that's not what made Legends a thing, because that was accompanying the Chug scale. That was a Legends class figure for the Chug scale. The Legends figures were originally, they were 2-packs from DX9.
They were supposed to just go with Metroplex. I just think that was the start, even though that was meant to go at Metroplex. You can argue Metroplex is Legends scale, but I see what you're saying. Then it's DX9. DX9 came out with the Blur, Cup, RC. I think those, and Bumblebee came out with. I think it was.
Yeah, it was those. It was those 2-packs.
Yeah, it was 2-packs.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that's one area. That's one wing of the museum.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I thought to myself, and I obviously don't know as much, historically, but I think about, like, just the striking nature of the Flames toys. And
I agree with you, the Flames toys, but Flame Toys stuff deserves to be in there for these same exact reasons. Like, they were historic, they were impactful, they changed the way that we saw Transformers and that we accepted Transformers. Like, when Flame Toys dropped, like the controversy that caused of like,
not transform.
Does it transform?
Right.
And
transform.
And then it took people that understood the art of action figures to be like, look, there's more to engineering than just whether or not it can turn into a stupid plane when it's wearing half of its plane parts on its back. Like, if you're wearing half of your plane parts on your back, that's not impressive engineering. But if you can make parts,
or you're wearing half your robot parts under your plane.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're able to manipulate joints and everything else, where things are moving around it and it's all natural and it feels organic and lifelike and anatomically correct in some weird way, like, the engineering that's involved in that is equally, if not more than impressive, but people didn't give it the credence because they didn't understand, because they don't understand, in my opinion, they don't understand action figures. They only understand capital TM Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there should be a wing in this museum dedicated purely to aesthetic. Like, what are, just simply like, how beautiful did they get? What are some of the most beautiful? They have to be able to pose well. They have to be articulated well to pose well. So I don't just mean if it's standing in an A stance, how beautiful. I mean, overall.
So I don't know if I can think of something that's just beautifully, like, aesthetically beautiful that isn't also impactful almost for the same reasons, right? Like, so when you posed that question, the first thought that went to my mind was that Takara Rodimus. But that Takara Rodimus is impactful and historic for different reasons. Like another figure that I think is aesthetically amazing is MMC's Feral Rex, but it's also historical and impactful for the same reasons.
Right.
Not Regrettable Rex, the black and purple one.
Regrettable.
The Robocin Optimus.
Yeah.
The Robocin Optimus Prime deserves to be in a museum. Like, because for the first time, I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you've used to convince yourself that that's not worth having, including excuses that I've used myself. The first time that you've ever seen that in person go from a truck to Optimus Prime in front of your eyes without touching it, it scratches a part of your soul, if you're a true Transformers fan, that nothing else ever has. But, like, what else deserves to be in there? Generations Metroplex.
Yeah, that set the stage for Titans.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, it was like nobody had imagined a Transformer that size, and for the same reasons that Steel Fortress should be in there also, that 4-foot tall Metroplex, because
that new one.
Yeah, just because it's the first to do it.
Right. I'd put the HasLab Unicron in there.
Yep, 100%.
Just because of the
crowd-funded element, 100%.
Because we finally got a Unicron.
That first missing link, Optimus Prime.
I love how you're looking at me like that.
I know. I'm just looking at you because you exist in this room with me. But, like, they took a G1 Optimus Prime, Takara did, just the G1 old school, and added articulation, so the elbows moved and the waist moved and stuff, and just now it was like what you wanted as a kid, but it still felt like that thing that you had as a kid, and that is
Cool.
I think
Apollyon should be in there.
Apollyon, yeah, Apollyon probably deserves its spot in there.
Apollyon.
You know what I always say about Apollyon that was fascinating to me? Apollyon is the maybe even still to this day the only third-party Transformer piece that there was a YouTube trailer for. There was a video trailer that figure was coming, like it was a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and when you talk about
we were waiting for an MP Megs.
Marketing and branding and stuff like that, like that stuff matters. Like I would put the Perfect Effect Fort Max in it.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
Nobody had seen a Transformer TM figure that operated and looked like and felt like almost like a premium Japanese robot toy. Like, you know, it feels like that thing feels like a Flame Toys that transforms, you know, far before this Takara Rodimus. I think that like 3-0, in spite of what Robert feels about them, like they belong.
Yes, I would admit 3-0 deserves a place on the
What piece though?
They're Bumblebee Movie Prime. Honestly, that's like, you know, large standard one.
I would put in one of those like Trans Arts. Is it Trans Arts that does those horrible Beast Wars figures?
There you go, Bobby.
I would put one of those in there.
Over the MP, the actual Takara.
No, well, they're not over, but in addition to, because they kind of mark the beginning of third-party collectors settling for less.
No.
Of course they do. Of course they do. They mark the beginning of third-party collectors saying, you know what, this is good enough.
You mean Trans Art. Okay. No.
Like who did that Springer? You know, it was like a one-off cheapy Springer. I think there's a lot of companies that have
Open and Play. Open and Play. That's a fair one too. It's also the first Transformer ever came in a bag.
Right.
Did they do a Galvatron too?
I think they did afterwards.
Yeah.
And they both came in like
I would put
like
things that I'm thinking about
bags.
Yeah, it was just like a clear plastic bag.
You know what else deserves to be in the museum is Moss Toys. Skiff.
Yeah, dude. One
just for the box art. Mainly for the box art.
Dude, Impossible Toys should have some stuff there.
100%. 100%.
Impossible Toys.
Dude, that stuff was so bad.
What about Ollie?
And
It was so
Ollie should because and so should the Jetfire that was awful.
The DACA Toys.
DACA Toys. Like just because it marked a moment in time where third party started getting a little too big for their britches, where they could start giving you toys at more expensive prices.
I love that to date, multiple figures have been done over and over and over again. No one has touched Ollie, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's except
for X-Transbox.
Over and over again. The MMC all-in-one Bruticus should be in there.
Yep.
Just for pulling
They
that off.
They were the first ones to do that.
Yep. Like once again, historic, impactful, like it's special. What was the first Legends combiner? It was that DX9 Hercules, right? Or the DX9 Devastator. Like that to me.
It was a Devastator, I remember it being.
Yeah, that to me belongs in there.
Wars.
I would put in a combiner. I would put in Combiner Wars. Combiner Wars Minnesota.
Yeah. Mastermaid was in the mix then at the same time as well.
Oh yeah, dude, those little chibi waterhead ones.
Yeah.
But the Combiner Wars stuff like
I
that.
Would put their Metroplex in there.
That Combiner Wars leg transformation is still being used to this day.
Right.
The way that Combiner Wars made terrible combiners, but somehow revolutionized the connector joints, still being used to this day, or some subsidiary of it. Like it deserves its day in the sun.
What about the RC with the boobs? What was the big RC?
No, the Doc
so it was just a regular RC, but then somebody made an additional upgrade set.
Oh, that. No, I feel like that.
I thought they made one that came out that had the boobs.
I think the upgrade set actually deserves a spot. I do. I'm not even being funny. Like I think it deserves its spot.
That's what I was trying to
not the RC, just the.
What do you think should be the defining criteria in in the sentence of what places you in the Transformers Museum?
You either had to be the first to do something, or you had to have changed the way things were done after that.
I co-sign that. I don't have a better answer.
Personally, so my museum would have 2 wings. There would be a wing dedicated just to the most, like, the shelf presence. How does this thing look?
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Laura, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that the aesthetic is important too, but I think you also have to be careful that it doesn't just end up being like this general display.
Mm-hmm. I would say if there's one thing, Laura, that I learned about Transformers collectors is this museum's all going to be housed on one shelf in one corner.
Planter shelf.
And that giraffe that transforms. That's got to
Hey, Laura, you like your giraffe?
She never saw it.